So I'm coming back to actually do an intro. Hopefully I can figure out how to make it be at the beginning of the video. So we have already finished this up, but I am going to go back in time a little bit to tell you a little bit more about this video. We picked the blackberries yesterday, and that is what I will try to have the first clip be. Then today we went to a Scandinavian Festival in our area. That was super fun, so I'm going to include some footage of the different things that we saw there and did, and then we will get into this process and what we are doing with those blackberries. So have a great day, enjoy the video that's coming, and yeah, let me know, thinking back, if you are a mead maker, let me know what I should have changed, what I could have done differently. This is my first attempt, and I am hoping that it turns out, at least for people that like mead. I don't even know if I like mead. I've never tried it. I am not an alcohol drinker, but I'm hoping that it will be good gifts for somebody. Crazy. So cute.
Oh, it is? Those are scary.
All right, let's check on the second day of our lemon whey ferment. I'm gonna give it a stir. I am seeing some sediment on the bottom. I don't know if that's just sugar. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of a taste, see where we're at. That's tart, but good. It's starting to get a little bit of a fermented taste. I think I'm going to let it go just overnight until the morning of day 3. Hi there. So I went yesterday, picked some blackberries. I am going to set aside 6 cups to make a pie. The preservation part comes into the fact that I'm going to turn some into mead, and then I will freeze any that are left over if we have any left over. So for the mead, I need just 10 ounces. Honestly, I probably should have put gloves on. Just because I don't need to get blackberry juice on my yarn later. Okay, there's our 10 ounces for the mead. There's 6 ounces for our pie, or 6 cups for our pie. And I do still have enough here to freeze some. Oh, let me label it first. I did check the veggies that we put in the dehydrator yesterday, and those slivered half ring onions were still a little leathery, as were the tomatoes. So they are actually still running right now. Oops. Normally I would freeze these on a cookie sheet first, but they are pretty firm, and since this bag isn't full, I should be able to lay it out fairly flat in the freezer. So I'm not going to worry about that too much this go around. Plus there's just not a ton in there. So I might bring you back for the mead making process, possibly at least part of it. Probably we'll do that. So I will see you back here then. Okay, so I am going to be attempting my first batch of mead, and I am using the recipe that is in this Fermentation for Beginners book. Basically the process is going to be to mash these berries with a potato masher or my hands, make a little flavor sachet in some cheesecloth that includes a clove and some vanilla bean. That'll be tied onto a long string so it can be easily removed out of here when we reach the flavor profile that we like. I'm going to be heating some water, just warming it, adding the honey, and allowing that to stay at a low heat until that is blended and combine just 4 to 5 minutes without getting it too hot. Then we will add additional water and bring it back down to room temperature. We will bloom our yeast in an additional 1 cup of water for about 20 minutes. And then when the honey mixture is cool enough to that room temperature, we will add it to this jar, add the yeast, add the blackberries, and add the flavor sachet. So I will bring you along for the things I can do right here. I have a hard time filming at the stove, so it won't include that, but you know, it's me heating water at the stove. So I will put a pot holder here and do as much of it here as I can. This is a first for me. There are ways to do lacto fermentation, which I would honestly prefer over the yeast, but I do know using the commercially packaged yeasts usually yields a more consistent result. And since this is the first time I'm doing this, I think that would be possibly a greater boon to the process and result in what will hopefully be a better product. I don't know if I will even like it. I don't really like the taste of alcohol, so I don't know how much of that fermentation alcohol-y taste it will take on. So we'll see. But this whole process looks like it's going to take 8 to 9 weeks at a minimum. So we'll just get it started today and see how it plays out. So I'm going to go get some water on the stove and get it warming up with a thermometer in it. And then I'll come back here, we'll make our little flavor sachet, and I will get the honey weighed out. Okay, so my water is actually, hold on, already at temperature that we want. So I am going to weigh out this honey. So the interesting thing about this recipe is that you use about a gallon of water and all this honey, and yet it says to ferment it in a gallon jar. So I'm not really sure how that maths, or what I'm going to do when it doesn't fit in this jar. So that part will be interesting. So let me go put this on the stove to warm for a bit. We'll come back, mash the blackberries, and get our little flavor sachet going. It does say to pre-wet this, so I will do that with some filtered water. I'm using filtered water for this whole process because we are on chlorinated city water. Okay, I've got our little cheesecloth thing damp. We are going to put just 1 whole clove. Oh, it's not really whole. 1 whole clove. And part of a vanilla bean. You just have to sniff them when you pull them out. It's like mandatory. Oh, except I didn't grab a knife. Hold on. So that's all that there is for this. probably could have used less cheesecloth, but I always underestimate and then wish I had a bigger piece. So we're just gonna go with that. And then this is just cotton twine. It says to leave it on a long string. I'm gonna cut some of this excess off so you can retrieve it easy when you reach the flavor profile you want. So I'm hoping that the threads on the jar will go ahead and close with that running through it. And then I am just going to mash these with the potato masher. Release that color, those juices. I was surprised how few blackberries it actually uses, and when I told my husband, he was like, you should put more in there, but I was reading about, again, tannins that kind of ruined my plum syrup being a thing in the seeds in this. So we will just go with what the recipe says. The first time I make anything, I try to actually adhere to the recipe and then tweak it as I learn. So the honey is just about heated, and I will bring that over here to show you how we put this all together. Okay, so one small deviation I am going to make, because I am thinking it's not going to all fit in here, is the directions say to add water with the honey and then add additional water. Then add additional water to bloom the yeast. And I am just going to bloom it in some of the water that's already warm. And I'm doing it at a ratio that it says to do it on the packet. So that is one small deviation I'm making. Hopefully it's fine. I don't really know why it wouldn't be. But I'm just going to give this a little stir. And actually this needs to bloom for 20 minutes. So I am definitely going to be stopping this recording. We will get the water with the honey off the stove, and I will add the additional water that's supposed to help bring it down to room temperature. So that will all be fine, but we will have to wait on the yeast to bloom before we can do the next step. My guess is adding this water is going to bring it down kind of to the room temperature, because this water is relatively cool. I just filtered it, so yeah, it says we want it to be down to between 65 and 75 degrees. Right now it's at 88. So we will let that cool. Probably the time it takes for it to cool, our yeast will be done blooming. So I'm going to pause you for now, and I will bring you back when we assemble this. Alright, for our next segment here, it says to pour this into here. Since I do not think it's all going to fit in here, I'm going to put everything into this pot and mix it up, and then I'll put as much will fit in this gallon in here, and then whatever's left I'll put into quart-sized jars. I only have the actual airlock for, let me show you this closer up. I actually only have one airlock for the gallon jar. This is a little two-part system. You put water in here to this line. You put this on, it allows gas to escape without anything else to get in. And I got to thinking about it when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with what was left. And A pickle pipe does the same thing. So I can put whatever doesn't fit in the gallon jar into quart or half-gallon jars with the pickle pipe on it. I will have to figure out how to do the seasoning. The vanilla bean will be easy enough, but I can't really divide a clove. So that might just not go into that smaller batch. But we will see. We will see how far this gets us. So I've got the yeast in there. I'm going to go ahead and put these berries in there. So it did give a little disclosure that the berries at first will give it a nice rich dark color, but that they eventually fade to almost like a gray or a lilac. It actually said that it doesn't always turn out to be the prettiest beverage, but we'll see. Okay, so we'll get that stirred up. This is the part that could get very entertaining because I gotta see if I can dump this in without making a huge mess, which is not my strong suit. So we'll see. I just stirred it. I'm gonna wait until it stops spinning a little bit because I don't need it spinning while I'm trying to pour. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Wish me luck, people. Okay, not too bad. I am going to wipe that rim off. Because I don't need anything that may attract fruit flies to get in under that threaded rim. So we will get that wiped off good. Alright, and then this airlock will go on there, and I will fill that with water once I get it kind of in place where it's going to sit for the next month. Alright, I think this is more than a quart's worth, but I don't know if I have a half-gallon jar clean, because I think I used my last clean one for our lemon fermented drink. So I might just put it in quart jars for now, and then maybe after my next load of dishes in the dishwasher, I can combine it into a half-gallon. Because I actually had these quart jars sterilized and ready to go for making apple pie filling tomorrow. So now I'm going to have to do more dishes anyways to get all the jars clean that I need for various projects. So that'll just go on there with a standard canning ring. This works the same way. Oh, you know what? I forgot our flavor sachet. So let's put that in there as well. Okay, we will re-sanitize that. And I'll grab another pickle pipe for this one. My goodness. This is when being able to edit would come in handy. Okay, so I will sterilize that lid and get it back on. I will go grab a ring for this. This I will continue to follow up. It's the first time I've tried it, so we will learn together. Hopefully you're not coming here for expert advice for mead making, because it's the first time I've done it. So we will see how it goes. We'll check in periodically on it, and I'll just give some updates as I see things changing maybe. I will also throw a stickered label on there so I don't forget what date we started. So anyways, that has been day 15 of the Every Bit Counts challenge. I, hope you're enjoying these. I'm enjoying doing it. I'm trying to bring a little bit different content maybe than just the canning. We canned the plum syrup. I know we haven't done a lot of canning, and a lot of times people are after the canning content. I will be doing apple pie filling, I think, tomorrow. I do know I am also going to make a chocolate cherry jam. It is my husband's favorite. I told myself I wasn't going to make any jam this year because I literally have probably over 100 jars of jam already made, and we just need to go through those before I make more. But the chocolate cherry is his favorite, and I had made a batch, but I gave so much of it away because he bragged about it so much that people wanted it. So I will be doing that, so that I will bring you along for. Besides that, I did still just want to throw out that we are giving away a copy of Sandra Katz's Fermentation Journeys. There is a video that has the thumbnail labeled giveaway. You will go to that video, which I will link in the description of this video, and you will subscribe to our channel, like that video, and comment on that video. On September 1st, we will use Comment Shark to pick one of those comments at random, and that person will be contacted, and we will ship the book out to you. So I think that is it for today. Obviously, I've got a little follow-up or cleanup and stuff to do here, but that's it for today. Have a great weekend. If it's a weekend, I don't know when you're watching this. It's a weekend for me, so have a good one.